we're connected to an astrology group that we're both a part of.
Yes.
So we get regular updates on what's going on in the planets and how that's directly related to the world events, and then
Mm,
events in our own life that are so integrated with where the planets are.
mm,
And we had a bit of a chat recently about where my moon is, and um, I guess going a little bit further in understanding myself beyond just my sun sign. And so I'd love to talk about the three main planets that we could extend into outside of just the sun sign.
mm,
So we've got our ascending and our moon sign. So can you tell us how is all interconnected and related together to
yes.
help people understand that their own personalities and traits and qualities?
And I think it's really important, to understand that our moon sign, I feel, is just as important as our sun sign in our birth chart, in that our moon sign will will be the way that we express our emotions. So I feel like that's pretty important,
Mm.
particularly as you and I are fellow Scorpio moons. We us together will have a particular way of expressing the way we feel in a Scorpio manner. Now, on the other side of that, if for instance you have a Gemini moon, that would be a very different expression of your emotions and your feelings and the way you feel about life and the way you move through life and the way things that make you feel good.
Mm. Mm.
Um, and then your ascendant is what was ascending astrologically in the sky the minute you were born. So I was born on the 2nd of June, 1974 at 4:30 a.m. Someone else who in Melbourne, Australia, someone else who was born on the 2nd of June, 1974 at 7:30 p.m. will have a different ascendant than I do, and sometimes even a different moon. But the moon takes a couple of days to change sign. The
Mm.
ascendant takes a couple of hours to change sign. So it'll just
Mm.
kind of like slowly, slowly go around. So where you are in your birth chart is right in the middle. It looks like a circle, and then you look up and you're standing in the middle, and everything above you at that moment in time is like a photograph of your astrological blueprint. And that
Mm.
blueprint stays with you for the rest of your life. And then on top of that, we can layer with what's happening now in the sky.
Mm.
So now with the moon and the sun and the ascendant where they are will affect the way that we are differently because we all
Mm.
have a different birth chart. So normally everybody knows what their star sign is, which is your sun sign. You might be a Cancer, or you might be a Gemini, or you might be a Leo. But beyond that, I think the top three, your sun, moon, and ascendant, will be the three major kind of um, guides or flags or roads that sort of choose you in your life, and they continue to choose you, and you
Mm.
continue to behave, react, respond, love, feel bliss and joy in those ways throughout your entire life. And then what will happen is you will attract people who either mirror that, reflect that, challenge that, create some discomfort in that, or some harmony and ease in that to surround yourself with in your life. And you'll find that all of these people help for you to grow in a certain way. And these people will just kind of like either stay with you, or that they'll disappear, and they'll be with you for a long time or a little time. But there'll always be a connection in the top three if they stay for long. So if you
Mm.
have something similar in your top three to there'll definitely be something with your mum and dad, something, and your siblings if you have siblings. And then if you've been with a partner for a long period of time, there'll often be a deep connection there, whether it's they have a similar sun and moon, or often the man's sun will be the same as the female's moon, or there'll be something like that, or there'll be a similar ascendant or something like that. There'll be some kind of
Mm.
connection. There's always something. And
Mm.
the more harmony there is in the connection, the more harmony there will be in your partnership with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a bit more about ascending then? So if the moon is more of our feelings and the way we sort of feel about the world and express ourselves, what would the ascending be?
The ascending is the way we show up in this world. That usually your ascendant is the way. So if you meet someone, so if I just meet you now, I'm going to see your ascendant. I'm going to see you as what your ascendant is. So you'll see
Yeah.
me because I have a Taurus ascendant. And most people just think or most people know me as a Gemini sun, right? But my ascendant is Taurus. So I actually show up as someone who's quite grounded and earthy and, like takes my time. But there are certainly things in my ascendant that are absolutely prevalent in my life. I also have Venus in Taurus. So I have a very, very big love of comfort and also food. Comfort and food are like so important to me. I could sit on the couch with cushions and blankets and just all piled up all day long with a block of chocolate or just eating chocolate all day and chai.
And you're a happy woman.
So, but then because I have a Scorpio moon, I'm super intense emotionally. So I like to go really deep with my emotions, and I don't know if you can relate to this, but for a long, long time, I didn't cry. Like I just suppressed all of my feelings because there were so many. It was so much. So I just kept pushing them down, and I didn't cry. And I don't know. I feel like it was more than 5 years that I just didn't cry. Kept it all inside, and it was just intense, and too much, just way too much for me, until eventually I opened it, and then the tears just flooded and they didn't stop for a very long time. And it was a huge release. It was huge catharticism and an amazing, amazing thing. But it got to the point where I couldn't stop crying now, and I was like just crying all the time, and it was like the floodgates had opened. They say with Scorpio, because it's a fixed water sign as well, when it's a fixed sign, it makes your the manifestation of the sign more stubborn, so with or more hard, and doesn't like change. So Scorpio, if you can imagine, water, fixed water is like ice, doesn't move, it's stuck. But then you crack the ice open, and then the water, and then the ice, and then everything goes everywhere. And it was like this huge, big release. And now that I'm, through that and much older and had much more experience, and I have wisdom about, I've done a lot of work on my inner being, the way that my psyche works and the way I feel and the way that I move through life more consciously now. I can see that, I know that when I feel like I need to cry, I have to cry.
Yeah.
So that then that doesn't happen again. So I can allow it. But it's also very intense for people because I feel like I just have an intensity about me that's just there.
Yeah.
It's just intense.
Yeah.
So do you, babe?
Yeah, I do. And just in my journey of getting to know my Scorpio moon, and I haven't, to be honest, I mean, I feel like my ascending's Aquarius, so I do feel like I'm a creative person, and I'm, humanitarian, want to sort of see that community-based sort of connection, like very strong on wanting to create community. Yeah, I don't feel like I see myself too much as that Aquarius trait, but I definitely see myself more as that Scorpio expression within myself. Yeah, and I'm still working on integrating it in a really healthy way. I think I'm just beginning to learn more about healthy ways to express certain things. Like for me, with Sun in Leo, so a fire sign, more of the anger and the heat that moves through me. So you talking about the water and the emotion of tears, mine would be the heat and the anger, and how I can actually move that through my body in a healthy way before I push it down, because I'm like, no one wants to see someone angry. And I also don't want to be, I feel like I'm a responsible person. I don't want to be projecting that on anyone either. But I'm playing with at the moment, how can I be releasing it in these healthy ways? And that feels like a bit of a learning or in progress sort of state that I'm in at the moment.
Yeah, and it's just, and look, it's gonna be a learning for probably the rest of our lives. We're just gonna consistently just continue to learn. I mean, as a Leo woman, who Leo is so powerful, and especially with the Leo sun, because the Leo loves being, or the sun loves being in Leo. So you have an opportunity to really grab onto all of those creative things, especially with an Aquarius rising, which is so much creativity. Aquarius, it can get stuck in your head though, so it needs to be expressed, right? And then with all of that intense Scorpio moon stuff going on, it's like hold on to it, and then Aquarius is fixed, and so is Leo. So you've got all of this kind of fixed, stuck energy that is really wanting to be expressed, and then the moment you express it, you'll just feel like everything just falls into place. And then because you've got so much fixed energy again, it'll just go like that, and it'll just be all of these thoughts in your head without expressing it, all these things that you want to do, all these things, until again, and then you'll express it. But then you'll always feel in flow when it's expressed. You always will. I love Aquarius rising. I've got so many besties that have an Aquarius ascendant. They're so amazing. Such an amazing ascendant, because it's so humanitarian and so especially for what you're doing with your life, it's just perfect, really. It's like allowing everybody else to be as weird as they want to be, because you're saying, look, they're coming to you and they're seeing you as an Aquarian, like someone who's stepping outside the square and not doing things that are the norm, doing things that are outside of the box and outside of the conservative mind, and seeing you going, oh, I want to be able to do that. How can I do that? How does Erin do that? She's doing it. I feel free to do it too. So amazing.